Harrington. I'm going to give a little demonstration on my senior project, which was managing the Keystone Challenge. Here's a little peek into the sport of canoe racing. Canoe racing, it's a bunch of people get together. They have professional canoes made out of carbon fiber. A lot of them are made out of carbon fiber. Here's just a few pictures from the races. Here's Ron Kaiser. He's a dealer of Epic Canoes, the brand name. I have no bias about the canoes. The 90-mile canoe race right here, Spikes Challenge, and the Sawable 120 miler. Here's a little clip on YouTube my dad made about how not to paddle a war canoe. A war canoe is a boat with about, it could have 6 seats, 8 seats. Just take a look here. That's how you're not supposed to do it.
Can I ask you something about?
Sure.
What did they do wrong? Because I have no clue.
We don't either. We've been trying to figure out who switched too early. Now, if once they get the boat flipped over, I'll show you exactly what's going down here. But basically, there's 6 seats in this particular canoe, and the 4 seats in the middle, right here, they slide side to side. And what we think happened is someone either slid too quickly or too slow. See, who's sitting in the back? That's Randy. Oh no, my dad was sitting in the back. He's calling the huts, basically when to switch sides. He goes, ready, hut, and everybody switches. But apparently someone just was a little too early or a little too late, and that just tipped the balance of the boat, and everybody just went flying over the side.
But it's really that integral?
Yeah.
Like just, that? I mean, just that?
Just look at that.
Well,
and the funny thing
we're
is,
going to blame it on that guy since he did it a second time.
Everybody up here, no one up there knew that he had fallen out. They were about to paddle and leave him go. And they're going to paddle back and go pick him up. And yeah, the thing is, as soon as, if someone tilts to the side, the boat leans, and everybody on the right side of the boat will slide and slam into that side and then just flip it. It's just that touch here. I'll shorten it up a little bit. They were going back to pick him up on shore. There's my dad here. He was up in the front this time. He's coming back to make sure the camera's recording. This is actually recorded off of a GoPro camera.
Are you in the boat?
I will be in the next one. It's a pole mounted. We just use a ski pole, and there's a little. I'll just let you watch that. I'm right there. And see, that was a nice one, and you can hear him say, "Ready, hut." And that's my dad's brother, Steve. They were the only 2 left in the entire boat. So,
is there a reason why you switch sides? Is that just because one side of your body's getting tired and you move to the other side shoulder-wise?
Partially that, yeah. Partially because the way, how many people are in the boat, it steers depending on which side people are paddling on. Some people are stronger than others, so it helps balance out the steering.
So you guys are going good into the hut.
Yeah.
And then is there like a set, like you go 10 strokes on the left side and then you would hut?
Some people do that, but there really isn't. It's they were just on a straight stretch, so it's just depends on how many. I guess how quickly the boat's turning. If you saw my dad back there, he was taking the paddle and digging it into the water back here instead of paddling. That helped bring the back of the boat over a little bit so that go straight without the huts. So
So really, I mean, you could go on one side, like he said, on a certain amount of strokes, and then you're on the other side, it could be a different amount of strokes.
yeah,
So it's not always a consistent thing, so that might,
Right.
that's gotta make it harder.
yeah. Though that they did try to go off just huts instead of ready hut, because in a two-man canoe, a C2, if when Dad calls a hut, you just flip the hands over and then you're paddling the other side. But with these guys, you have to get ready. You gotta brace and then slide over and then paddle. So it's just a little bit more difficult in a long boat like that with more people. So okay, so I'm gonna tell you here what a typical canoe race consists of, how it's managed, what goes into it. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about how a longer race might function a little differently. More people, more problems. If you'll ever listen to Mr. George talk in her history class, a big part of it is that more people equal more problems. So, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of details about my race, the Keystone Challenge, which was June 23rd of this year. Then we'll have time for questions after that. Now, why canoe racing? What got me interested? One major thing that got me interested in canoe racing itself is the social aspect of it. Canoe racers, excuse me, racers, it's like a big extended family, really. They go out and have fun on the water. They're not going out there to beat everybody down. They're just going out there to have fun, and when they come back, it's a big awards ceremony. A couple of them get into a little drinking, but you know, that's just adults for you. And then they have, sometimes they have dinner, sometimes they don't, sometimes just go home. But a lot of times on these multiple day races, people will get together and share about how paddler A could improve on his technique, paddler B is doing really good, he can change a couple things. Just it's a really helpful group, and it's a lot of good people to know. Another thing, you can meet people from around the world doing this. I know a couple people from Canada come up and do it, and people from across the country come over to Pennsylvania just to race because of the people. So, and also, Terry Kent, he is a Olympic paddler. He mostly paddles in New York, but he will come down to Pennsylvania to paddle. And I come from a long line of paddlers. My dad over there, he's a paddler. His uncle, Uncle Rich, was a paddler, and my dad's brother's a paddler. So there's a long line of racers in the family. So you know, like father, like son. So I help there. And another thing is exercise. Exercise is definitely a big part of it. Helps me get a little stronger when I don't really have much else to do. I was going to say something else for that. Well, alright, well, another thing is the friends aspect. I have friends here that are interested in what I do, so we go out and paddle and just have some fun, bring a cooler, bring some drinks, legal ones, some snacks, and take some of my girlfriends out on the boat, you know, have a little fun. And it's nice to show off a little bit too to the girls. And there's Pirates of the Susquehanna, I've deemed them. I'm sitting here in the background. This is a C4 race, a 4-person boat, and basically you just paddle around in a circle and the last one floating wins. Because these are boats that don't sit that high on the water, or yeah, they sit pretty low on the water because of 4 people. There's only supposed to be 2 people in there. So as you can see with ours, we only have like that much clearance on the water. So every wave we go through, and then we just get lower and lower and lower. And when you're organizing a small race like this, well, not like this, but whenever you're organizing a small race, you need to plan. Planning is definitely the most important part in any aspect of racing. Well, actually, even most of life, you just need to plan. You need to figure out the what, the when, the who, the how, and the where. And that's important because you got to know. First, you got to know what you're trying to achieve, how you're going to achieve it, where your plan's going to be unfolded, who's going to help you, who are you going to do this for. So another thing. You definitely need to plan on how to get your word out about your race. Like if you're going to use the newspapers, you need to use radio. If you're going to go as far as TV, that's important. You need to plan way ahead. And one thing I use for my race is Pennsylvania Association of Canoeing and Kayaking. They have a website called packnewsletter.com, or .org, sorry. And they helped promote my race. They put my race, word of mouth. They put since they have a website, they advertised for me on their website, and they really did a nice job, and it helped my race grow a little bit. I'll mention that later. Make sure you can definitely, raising money is one of the more important things of having any event. Money is what everything runs off of, pretty much. So you also need to coordinate your safety crews. That's very important because if you don't have a safety crew, then you could get, if someone gets hurt, you're liable because you didn't have anybody to help. And it's just a good thing, common courtesy, to have someone keep an eye on everybody. You need to make sure you get the right permits for it. If you're going to be using the water near a dam, you'll need to, or if you're going to use a dam to portage over, you'll need a permit to be able to use the dam to access the other side because it's government property. So you don't want to get shot. And here's my dad here. He that camera I was mentioning earlier about the GoPro that was mounted on the back of the canoe, Dad mounts it on the back of his canoe during his pro races, and you can actually see a couple of his videos on YouTube. And here it is, he has it in his hands right here. It's just a ski pole, and he puts in the back of the boat, and this is the camera right here. It's in a little waterproof box. It's actually a really good camera. It can get a very wide swath of everything. So, and they were picking on him on Facebook because he was messing around with the camera. He was going to toss it onto shore because the mount broke for it. So, and I'm over here on the shore, and this is his partner Holly Reynolds. And if you can't read that, it says he's screwing around with the stupid GoPro again, and they were messing. They were picking on him on Facebook about it.
She's working hard now.
Yeah, she's
I'll tell
working
you what,
hard.
she looked like she was
She's
ready.
an animal.
That's what it's all about,
She
yeah.
is.
Lord.
She's awesome.
She's working hard. She's hardly working.
Right, there you go.
I took 5 seconds to toss my camera in.
No,
Never live it down.
Never live
Never.
it down. That's right.
Over an 8-hour race, and I got, I still get grief.
So now that you have the plan, you need to put your plan into action. Start your fundraisers, advertise your event, call for volunteers, and preparing the course. Preparing the course is probably one of the more important things, again, because if you have a big tree blocking half the river, you're not going to have a good time because people are going to get snagged up or dealing with your safety crews. So you want to go through set buoys for if you want to have someone turn, clear out any brush that could hurt people, spray for poison ivy down in places that they're going to run across, and create a registration form and a liability waiver form. That's a very important part. Also, here I have liability forms. If you just want to pass it around. Here's registration form. That's just the liability form waiver is just so that they agree not to sue us if they do something dumb. So,
You have to worry about, you have to always monitor like river levels and things
yeah,
like that?
that's important. If half the racers are dragging boats across the rocks, they're not going to come back next year. Actually, it might not even come in the first place because the water's too low.
Is there like a specific website you go to that, or do you just have to?
Yeah, there is a website.
You don't have to tell me what it is,
Right.
it's just you go to a website that
Yeah.
has that, all those
Yep,
levels
it
for
has,
you?
it has, I think it's like DMV or something, or not DMV, what am I?
USGS.
USGS. But I just took my driver's license, I'm thinking DMV. Too much. But yeah, in a registration form, obviously, just so that we know who you are, what kind of boat you're paddling, and what number we should give you. That's the nice thing. We assign a number to everybody, like a kayaker would be, a first kayaker to come to the race would probably be assigned the name, the number K1, next one K2, just so that you recognize it's the kayaker and he's boat number 1. So, day of the race, what needs to happen before the race? Registration, give out boat numbers, sign the waivers. Managing your volunteers, make sure you have safety crews, like get them all geared up, ready. If you're going to have people following canoes, make sure they have a canoe and life jackets and just everything, all the equipment they'll need. You need to double check your timing devices, that's important, because without your timers, you might as well not even have a race, because you don't know who, I mean, you can tell who won, but they would want to know how they improved over different races, what times they got, to compare to everybody else. If you say, yeah, I got first place, I got 10th, we were in the same pack, how'd that work? So, and make sure you have paper in it. For the devices we use, there's a little paper spool right here, and what it does is it pulls the paper through and prints out the time, and it doesn't print out the boat number, but it prints out a number next to it so that you know this is the person number 35 came through at an hour 30 or something like that, just so that you have a record of everything. Batteries, obviously. And another important part is the pre-race safety meeting. The safety meeting, what it does is explains the course, says this is what the course looks like if you haven't seen it, has some suggestions like avoid the rocks here, there's a tree down here that we couldn't get out, and there's a lot of boat traffic through here in this section. Just things that, in case they didn't know, you want to look over, ask if anybody has any questions, if everybody's prepared, just those little things. Mainly just to review the course though, so everybody knows where it's going down. And the gun's gone off, and they're gone. Again, with safety, they need to you need to make sure that you have people following, just to make sure they're safe. A bigger race would have a like a motorboat following them, but a smaller race, if it's not too far and you have someone willing, will have someone following in a canoe of their own. Some people just take a rowboat out and follow them and just have a very good time. Cutoff points are another thing, just so that they're there so that when if you don't have a cutoff point in a longer race, then people the stragglers, as the race goes on, they'll just fall farther and farther behind, and you'll have people waiting at the checkpoints, just sitting there waiting. So if it's a 3-hour race and someone doesn't finish till hour 6, they probably should have been pulled out during hour 1 if they weren't going to make it. It's just a courtesy to the volunteers there helping, and the people at the announcement or the award ceremony, because sometimes they wait for the last person to come in if they haven't been cut off.
Jumping in
Yeah.
the window.
He was over there earlier. And some people will pull themselves out of the race if they think they're not prepared. Like if you get an older person that just isn't feeling it or hurt their shoulder or something like that, they will pull out of the race. It's kind of an honor system too. If you don't think you're gonna make it, you just pull out at the next checkpoint. When the last racers cross the finish line, you need to make sure of a few things, especially tallying results accurately. If you accidentally mark the first place person in second place, give the second place person $1,000, first place person $500. They might be a little mad.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with the timers. If you have a timer that prints off the paper right then and right there, and if you have enough time, you can note right next onto the paper, this is canoe C13 came in first. So you can just write little notes down if you have enough time, or you can just start punching numbers in. Usually people will have a form or just a piece of scrap paper to write everything down, people who came in next. And another part about tallying results accurately is you want to, some races have results online so that everybody can see them and track the progress of their partners if they haven't been able to make that race, or can check out the competition or something like that.
Question, I'll
Sure.
keep it quick, because I know you have the time limit here. Have you ever been to a race where it's really that close that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Like I said, I'll keep my
Yeah,
questions
there's-
down, so I know you have a time.
I'll answer that.
But yeah.
There are, in a shorter race especially, there will be a grouping of people come in where it's like when you hit the timer button to hit the lap button, you're just like bam, 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 bam.
Oh, okay.
And there are people they miss by just like milliseconds, like there's seconds in there. It does get very close. Food, that's a good thing, especially for everybody else. Some people will, some races will feed racers before and after a race, like pizza, or if they have oatmeal or drinks, making sure they bring Gatorade, bananas. Some have spaghetti dinners, chicken dinners, pizza dinners, just to help with the carbs and stuff like that, carb load before the race, or help recover after the race. Managing money is important, because if you end up with an off, if you were supposed to make $1,000 profit, you only made $250 profit, something went wrong in there, lost a hunk of money or something like that. That's definitely very important. You want to track and write down your finances whenever you can, just so that everything is recorded, you know what's happening. And thank yous. Thank yous, some people just don't do anymore. If you write out a thank you letter, a personal handwritten thank you letter to a business, a volunteer, someone who helped you, it really means a lot to that person. And it can help you get a sponsorship next year, more volunteers, if people know that you really do appreciate their help. So go big or go home. A larger race definitely takes more preparation. It takes more preparation because obviously more people, more problems. You're going to have to micromanage a lot more because if people have issues, they can't come directly to you because you'll be busy with everybody else. So you'll have to train your volunteers to answer those questions that people might ask. Like if you haven't given the safety meeting yet, or if you have and people still have questions about the course, and you have 5 minutes before the race starts, you can't be answering 50 people's questions before the race starts. So moving on here. Keystone Challenge, logo here, logo there. What is it? I'm glad you asked. It's the longest Pennsylvania canoe race right now. It just started this year. It was actually my mom's idea to get it started. It's a total of 40 miles long. Now, if that doesn't sound long, it is. It's excuse me for a minute. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we also offered a shorter 25-mile relay race, which there are 3 points here. I have the map. There's a point. Here's the start point here, a point here, and then they finish here. These are these 2 points right here. People switch out of the boat, and a new team comes into the boat, and they all start. The long race started in Bald Eagle State Park. The second one started the Lock Haven boat launch. So keep moving. So what went into the KC40? I had an email survey sent out to everybody, all the racers that I knew, asking what's the important part, what's important about their favorite races, like if they have dinner afterwards, or if it's just a quick get it done and everybody go home. And so the survey was an important part of getting everything together. Here's our sponsors right here. Everybody there helped out a lot. We actually finished our race at Haywood's on the Water, and they gave us a nice banquet. And excuse me. So what we did when we were deciding on the course, we were trying to figure out who could take us, or where we could start and where we could finish on such a long race, and make it convenient for people to go. So we finally decided on the Bald Eagle State Park because it has a water access, and so did Haywood's on the Water. So that was really helpful, and plus Haywood's offered to give us a sponsorship and to feed us, basically. So, cruising on here. What should you take away from this? Canoe races are social events. If you ever want to go out and try one, it's people that go to a canoe race, it's really is just for fun. A little training, a little exercise, but really just for fun and bragging rights. It's a good opportunity to get outside, good place to evaluate your skills if you ever want to measure your upper body strength with everybody else. It's a good way to get outside and have some fun. What you really should do after this, if you ever have the opportunity, is to support a local outdoor activity, because a lot of them are good organizations that are really trying to help. It could be helping fundraiser for something like breast cancer, or well, the fight against breast cancer. That's important. And I mentioned earlier about Terry Kent. Here is he's standing on Lake Placid at the moment. It's in the middle of winter. He's an Olympic racer. He got he got 4th place at. I gotta look here. He won silver medal in the K2 500 meter event at the ICF Canoe Sprint World Championships in 1990, and he also he went to Los Angeles Olympics and paddled there also as a Summer Olympics. I believe he got 4th place then. So that's the kind of people that you'll meet at some of these races. It's really cool to have to be able to meet famous people who have been to the Olympics and have competed and done well. So, and if you were curious, I have the results for my race. There were 49 people in the race total, The first person back was,
Oh, that's when you gave us.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I printed out 4. Okay, so happy paddling. Any questions?
I asked as we were going home, so these are my questions.
I'm going to show you here. This is what we paddle with. It's a Zavro paddle. It's carbon fiber. If you'll hold that, that's 8 ounces, I believe,
I was a little surprised with it.
as compared to what, a 10-pound wooden paddle, a club.
It looks like it, you know.
Looks like it weighs a lot.
Right, it did, that's what I thought. I was surprised.
It's a big difference from a wooden paddle, if you can imagine. So, does anybody else have any questions?
It's not actually a question, just a point of interest, I guess. Your race came down to Susquehanna, I take it.
Yep.
How did you get around the Lockhaven Dam?
Went over it.
Not the Lockhaven,
Oh,
we didn't do Lockhaven.
oh no, we
Came
didn't.
down-
We didn't do
Came
Lock.
down the creek.
We no, yeah, we came down the creek. What creek was it?
Probably
Yeah, Baldywood Creek. We started
Pasadena.
Castanea, Baldywood Creek, and went down there. We went over the Sayers Dam. That's that. Yeah, we went over that.
I was just curious when I saw
Oh, yeah.
Lockhaven, how
Well, remember we had a small dam on Ball Hill too.
Yeah, that's right. Then we portaged that one.
How many permits did you need for your guys' race?
Not many really. We just needed one just to use the boat access. We needed one to go over the dam. And that's pretty much it. Not too much.
Are they fairly easy to obtain?
If you get a hold of the right people, they're pretty easy. You just let them know what's happening and what you're doing and how when you're going to be there, pretty much, and they'll work with you.
So judging from what carbon fiber costs to put on a vehicle or anything else, what kind of price tag?
Do this have?
Now, just boating in general, get into canoe racing, just even at an entry level.
Well, at an entry level, it probably is. It's really not that expensive from an entry level. If you're gonna get a wood canoe or aluminum one or fiberglass, it's much cheaper than using one of these carbon fiber boats. It's slower, and they're heavier, but you can get it done. You could probably spend from anywhere between, depending on what kind of beater boat you get, between $500 and you could probably go up to $7,000 in paddles, the boat, and just improvements. So
Okay, so shock, what's a carbon fiber
Boat?
cost?
around $3 grand.
That's-
Yeah, and that's a C1 one-person canoe, right? And then C2s only go probably just a little bit more, not too much. This what costs like $180, I think. The up to $180. From up to $330 are these. Some of them you can get what, like 7 ounces, and they cost a little bit more, but they're still it's pretty much the same strength and durability. Any other questions?
No, good job.
Okay. Thanks for your time, everybody.